Good morning, fans, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park, and today at the races on this final day of July 2020. A nice 9-race program here for you today. I'm Tim Tulloch. I'm joined by Callie Francois, lifetime horsewoman and jockey on set this afternoon. Callie, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I was out there this morning, and we're going to have a great time out there for the races this afternoon. Thanks for having me, Tim.
And you get a lot of horses every morning for Jeremiah or Dwyer.
Yes.
Typically, how many horses do you get on in the morning?
About 8.
Get about 8. That'll keep you going. And like most people in this business, we all have a couple jobs to keep us going. Even sometimes if we don't need to, we just love being out there.
I need to keep busy. We all need to keep busy. I think that's just how everybody works in this industry, which is one of the great things about our industry.
No doubt about it. We have a nice card here this afternoon on this Stronach 5 Friday. Remember, Stronach 5 gets us started in race 6 here at Laurel Park. Also, a nice carryover in the Rainbow Pick 6, getting started in race 4. Carryover of about $4,200. But let's get right into it, Callie. We got a big day of racing here. Let's get into race number 1. Remember, race number 1 starts the early pick 5 here this afternoon at Laurel Park. And race 1 is a maiden claiming event, claiming price $25,000, going 7/8 of a mile on the main track for fillies and mares. And Callie, you have the 5 We Are Family on top. Johan Rosado rides for Michelle Nevin, shipping in here from New York and coming off a little bit of a layoff with some steady works for the return.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I think is very interesting, Michelle's a little statistic is she's 15% first after the layoff, which I do like. And then speaking of Johan, this is his first time riding for her. So typically when riders ride for a trainer for their first time, they're going to kind of turn it up a bit, especially with a ship down coming in from New York. So Johan's definitely going to be on track with giving her an honest ride, and I think it's pretty simple. It's a drop-in class, and I think this is exactly what she needs. So just to go on with it and keep the pace, and she can wrap it up and go on with it.
It looks like it. She's shown some decent races against Tougher. If you go back on her form, back to last March and March of 2019 through September of 2019 in New York, and a couple races here at Laurel where she ran pretty well, coming in with a good dosage of works here. And Michelle Nevin about 19% when she drops one from maiden special weight to maiden claiming. I have the 1 on top, Platinum Painter, for Jamie Ness. Charlie Marquez gets the call here this afternoon. Boy, there's a whole lot going on here.
A ton, yeah.
A ton.
Yeah.
Callie, just a whole lot. Coming back off a layoff, turning back, drops while getting on the dirt for the first time. First time off the claim for Ness. And look, this one's got some solid. This one wins the race if she can convert her turf races to the main track for the first time.
Absolutely, and I think, first after the claim, Jamie's at 32%. New trainer, 29%. I mean, the only reason I don't have her pick number 1 is just because of this turf to dirt. How's that going to look? That's the only thing that keeps me from this filly winning this race. And I think just all across the board, it's going to be a good horse race between those two.
Well, it's certainly the unknown factor, getting on the dirt for the first time here this afternoon for Jamie Ness. You like the 6 a little bit. Also, Queen of Tomorrow for Claudio Gonzalez. Angel Cruz gets the call here this afternoon.
I do like this filly for this race today, getting a little bit of a piece of it. I mean, Angel and Claudio, they've been on a decent roll, 28% as of late. I think if it rains, we're going to be a little bit higher up. I do think she will perform off of a little bit of a muddy track. Her sire actually is 30% off of a wet track, so I think that will definitely come into play today.
Certainly will move her up if the track comes up sloppy here this afternoon. You have to go far back. You've got to go back to February of this year, 2020, to find a real positive effort. Well, I guess 2 starts ago at the maiden 40 was a pretty good effort at running 4th, only getting beat 4 lengths that day behind the next out winner, Deco Strong, and a couple others. So she's going to have to come up with the best race, no doubt about that.
For sure. Her best race to get a piece of it, but I do think she can do it today. Some races you have to throw out. You have to give the horse some throwaway races, and I think 3 starts back in June, I think that's one you just have to kind of give it away.
You can give that one away on a yielding turf course,
Yep.
no doubt about it. We both have a little interest in the 4 Hydra for John Robb. Xavier Perez gets the call. Xavier is John Robb's main go-to guy. Another one that gets back to the main track after a couple starts on the turf course.
Yes, so I think, and especially, it's interesting, she's been running short, and I think the last time she ran, she came from off the pace and came up, and that will transfer going a bit longer, and especially on the dirt. If Xavier, which he will be able to get her a bit more up there in the race, I think that's going to really transfer very nicely.
Well, it's it's an interesting move. Now, Hydra's run back-to-back lifetime bests on the turf course, and now she comes back on the dirt here this afternoon. And you talked about a little bit of a rain possibly today. She has 2 races when she was running on the dirt, those 3 races before she took on the turf, all very positive races on the main track. 2 of them, one on a muddy track and one on a sloppy track where she ran quite well. So that certainly could be a factor here this afternoon. 5-1-6-4 for Callie, 1-5-3-4 for myself as we move on to race 2. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4, and this is a claiming event. $16,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime for 3-year-olds and upward. Our first race this afternoon on the turf course, going a flat mile here. And Callie, you like the 4 Absalon for the red-hot Damon Deladovico, Horacio Caramanos, who is riding in some of the best form I've seen him ride in.
Oh, he is on a roll.
He is on a roll.
On a roll. Let's just roll with it. So I automatically saw Damon Horacio together. I mean, that immediately caught my attention. And then on top of this, I think this was a great – so the horse has had some bad luck. I watched both of those races in his last 2 starts. Just in his previous race, he was just really tight throughout the first turn, got put behind horses in the stretch, and then going short, his last race going short, put that bit of burst of energy for gate speed, and I think that's really going to help play out today, stretching things out a little bit. Yep. Yes. So we're going long today.
Yes.
He ran short. Got the gate speed that he needed because he missed the gate speed last time this horse ran long.
No doubt about it. Didn't get away well 2 starts ago, going a mile 16th on the turf. I thought that was a pretty good effort sprinting on the turf in his last start, where he only got outrun about 3 lengths that particular day. He got pinched in his start before that on June 13th. But what I like about this horse the most today is this is the lowest level he'll be running at, going a route of ground on the turf. And you look at his turf routes, and they're pretty strong, including that start two races ago where he didn't get away well.
Right.
And he still salvaged a very, very good finish. He finished 6th, but he still only got beat 3
He
lengths.
was covered the entire time.
Covered up the whole time, never got a shot.
Never got a shot, yeah.
Very good. I like the 9 on top. You don't use the 9. Oh, yeah, you do. You have the 9 in your exacta.
Yes.
Noble Lion comes in for Kelly Rubley. Julian Pimentel gets the call, as a lot of horses for Kelly. Julian gets the call. They hit it about 28% together, and they had a win yesterday. And this one drops to what should be a very suitable level for Noble Lion this afternoon.
Which is also great because third race after the layoff, she is hitting at 20%, which I think is a positive number to give us. Really, my only question is that if this horse is going to bounce. Now, this last time this horse ran, had the 1 hole, Pimentel had to send her. Then she got caught up, being on the lead, which is probably where the horse does not need to be. If you go back 2-3 starts at Tampa, that's the kind of race we need to see from this horse today to be able to go on and get the win, which I do think will be a big possibility.
No doubt about it. Julian's hand was forced in that last start.
Yeah.
You draw the inside going a mile here at Laurel Park on the turf course. You want to try to take advantage of that, and she just couldn't sustain that type of run. But she wants to run, as you mentioned, from a bit off the pace, and she has good races against similar back at Tampa, the Meadowlands, and Monmouth against those lifetime horses. The bounce could be a little bit of consideration, but I like what Kelly's done here. It's been almost a month, couple works since that last race, so hopefully she'll be all right here this afternoon for Kelly Rubley. and Julian Pimentel. The one I have some interest in, Fused, Johan Rosado for
Yes.
Mark Beecher. This is first time off the claim, claimed off of Graham Motion in his last start. Taking out winners for the first time, but that was a solid maiden score.
I almost picked this horse to hit the board as well. So it was there were a couple of really nice horses, and I did pick this horse. This horse did catch my interest, and again, second after the layoff, he's at 17%. I think this horse will improve a little bit upon the last race that it ran, which it won.
You would think it wasn't ran a solid number in a 63 in that maiden score and comes back in a very reasonable spot.
Yeah.
Mark Beecher doesn't try to get clever here. Broker his maiden for 16,000, coming back in the 2 lifetime for 16,000 with a couple works up there at Pimlico. You have interest also in the 6, a horse that I didn't use. I've got a plan. Donna Lockhart trains. Charlie Marquez gets the call here this afternoon. I guess looking at it now, it comes off a pretty decent race in his last start.
Yeah, I think a very decent race. I think the horse needed a bit of a race. So he ran off of the long layoff in June and just needed the race. The horse needed a race. Entered again on the 20th, and that was a scratch off the turf. And now we're back here to get again after its last run. Just kind of same situation. Had to go. And then just couldn't sustain, so I think that horse needed that type of run again as well. And with the weight off with Charlie, I think that just adds right to it. So I think this horse might get a piece of it going the speed.
Yep, no doubt about it. Probably needed that race last time, first time going long off the layoff, went to the front and got late, and really at the end of the day didn't get that late, ends up getting beat 4 lengths for the whole thing. Been hanging around this 2 lifetime 16 condition for a very, very long time. In fact, his last 12 races going back to June of 2019 has not been able to break through this condition, but last summer shows some races that certainly could fit here, but it's going to need one of those races, no doubt.
For sure. And actually, the horse is pretty close to running a lifetime best with a couple of different types of algorithms and numbers off of his last start. So I think he does. I think that's a good projection to go off of.
Very good. I have a little interest in the 8 Bold Trek. I remember this horse made his first start last May at Pimlico. I made him a must-use horse and a giant carryover in the Rainbow Pick 6 and first time out of the box, and he ran second, except he ran to a very, very good rail master who ran off and hid that day by 10 lengths. But he finally found hit the winner's circle 2 starts ago at Delaware Park, going 5 furlongs and stretched it out in his last start, and actually didn't run that bad.
No, and I think this horse, it is, let's see, with that last run at Delaware, I think we just need to get a little bit of that oomph, and I think the X-Men will definitely give us a little bit of that oomph.
Yeah, he got outrun in his last race for whatever reason after laying pretty close, going short. The time before that, he ran long on the turf, which was last October. It was a good effort, firing a good number, and he laid within the pace of work sense for Hammy Smith. 4.976 for Callie. I've got the 9 on top with the 4.18 in race 2 here at Laurel Park. We'll move on to race 3, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf course. This is a nice maiden $40,000 event for fillies and mares. Callie, you have the 7 on top Espresso and a check for Jonathan Thomas. Javion Toledo rides, and look, I'm not going to argue with this pick whatsoever. I have them on my ticket, but numbers don't lie, and there's some good numbers here.
There are some seriously good numbers, and on top of that, I did watch this horse when he ran the first time back in November. That horse wanted to take Javi to the front, and Javi had to strangle this horse a little bit going long the first time. So I think what's going to happen, combine that with the near bullet work that it ran on the morning of July 23rd, and then add the 3 furlong out of the gate bullet work. This horse is set to just be all speed, all go right now. First after the layoff, 26%. A poor last race, 25%. I mean, we have a couple of 30% at second start and then second on the turf for Jonathan Thomas. I think everything is just green about this horse.
No doubt about it. Throw in the fact he's taking a drop for the maiden special weight in New York to the maiden 40 here this afternoon. I agree. I thought that's a good catch there. That big work on July 15th, going 3/8 of a mile from the gate, 35-3. So Jonathan Thomas is clearly trying to put a little speed in this horse for this afternoon's race. Have been working well, and his horses making their second start of their career, a whopping 36%. Good young trainer there in Jonathan Thomas,
Very
winning
talented.
21% of his races this year. I have the one Perfect Kind on top. You have it in.
Yes.
You have her in your exacta. Big effort in her last race with a lifetime best off the layoff, and she comes right back at this level.
And she's going to come running right at him, right after Thomas's horse. And I think there's not much that we have to say. It's kind of all there, right in front of us on the form, especially just the way the horse ran last time. I think we're going to see that again, and I think that's all we need to see.
Yeah, well, we're going to Kevin Gomez is going to have to work out some kind of trip.
Yeah.
He's down there on the inside. The horse gets outrun typically, so he's going to have to work out some kind of trip toward the rail. But Kelly's horses have been just lighting it up here lately.
Exactly.
They have been, and I like Perfect Kind here, 5-2 on the morning line. We both have some interest in the 6. I have Whispering Kitten in my exacta. You have her on your ticket, and she's never run a bad race, and each one gets better than the one before.
Consistency over flash with this horse. I do think they're going to be. Again, we have our number one picks for a reason, but I do think because of the way how consistent this one has been going, definitely going to get a piece of it. Jockey and trainer are at a high percentage, and then just the trainer sprint. 2 out of 8 starts at 25%. Pretty decent numbers first after a layoff. I think consistency is going to be key with this horse.
No doubt about it. And Whispering Kitten's made just this nice progression from her first start last August, where she finished third and got beat 6 lengths. Came back in September at Colonial Downs, where she just got beat and improved her number, and then in May 31st, off that long layoff, improved her number again and only got beat a length and a half while running 4th. The downside for me for Whispering Kitten is she came off for a long layoff from September 19th to May 20th. Now, some of that wasn't her fault,
Right.
but she didn't run after September 4th of last year. There was still a lot of turf left after September 4th last year, and she didn't get back to the races.
Right.
And now she comes back off a 2-month break since that May 31st race, and she shows only 1 work. So that would be my only flag with Whispering Kitten, but we've seen Michael Merriman just
Turn it up. Yeah, turn it up.
No doubt about it.
I mean, when, and that definitely is questionable, but if you go off of that's still from the September to May, that horse still ran well on that well enough
No doubt.
on that first one. So maybe this horse just doesn't quite need as much as we think it does.
Well, we're going to find out here this afternoon, but certainly if she continues the way she has been. She just keeps getting better with every single start. You have interest in the 3. You're doing fine, 10-1 on the line for Claudio Gonzalez. This is a horse that I simply didn't get to.
So the horse is just green. The horse has been a bit green in its past couple of runs. This is the first time it's running for Claudio, which is at a 26% clip. First with a new horse. First after the claim, 29%. I think the horse hangs in there. I think that horse has some natural toughness to him, and I think the horse is also not afraid of tight spaces coming out of the 3-hole. It's just
considering that's all he's ever been in
Exactly.
is tight spaces when you look at his trouble line.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this horse is going to give us a little bit of something to look at.
No doubt. If he gets a clean trip here this afternoon, that could make all the difference, because
Yes.
that's something he has simply never gotten. 1-6-7-9 for myself, 7-1-3-6 for Callie. As we move on to race 4, a claiming event for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races. Claiming price $10,000, going the classic American sprint distance, 3/4 of a mile or 6 furlongs on the main track. Callie, you have the 8 on top. He's in my exacta. Cook Brothers for Lacey Gaudette. Carlos Carrasco gets the call, and it just looks like this is a perfect spot
It is.
off that 2 Lifetime 16.
and has the outside post on top of that. Helps out in a million different ways. Carlos knows how to win on the horse, and I know Carlos works very hard for Lacey in the mornings, and I'm sure he gets on the horse nearly every day, and I think that makes a huge difference as well. Lacey's a nice little cool at a cool 22%, winning off of the last time it won, and again, that's Carlos has only ridden one race for Lacey, and it's gone well, and it's been on this horse. I think we're just going to see another repeat session.
Very well could be, and we might get some moisture in the track where he got the job done for 2 lifetime for 16, and Lacey drops him down to 3 lifetime for 10. Why not? I like this move. 2 strong works since that last race, right there on his form, and a good race back at Churchill Downs of November of last year. But no doubt perfectly spotted off that 2 lifetime 16 win, 4-1 on the morning line. I like the 1 Successful Zip. I think there's a couple interesting things going on here. First time gelding, coming back with a solid work tap for Miguel Vera. Horacio Caramanos gets the call. And the first interesting thing I'd like to point out is Horacio Caramanos has been the regular rider, at least over the last two races and 2 wins for the 2 Victory Given.
Yes.
But opts to ride Successful Zip here this afternoon. This one just missed at this level in his last race in the beginning of March here. At Laurel Park, where he got beat a neck and ran a solid number.
I think, again, I didn't have to put anything down, and you just picked it up anyway. But, with the solid work, and then with Caramanos opting to ride this horse when he had the option of riding a horse that he's previously won on twice, I think that says it in of itself. I think Miguel's pretty good after a layoff. He's hitting the board and won a couple with out of 14 starts with first after the layoff. I think everything kind of says it for itself. And again, Caramanos, and I've known for Caramanos and Miguel to have success together anyway, so I think it just sets right up.
And Miguel about 18% off this layoff. If you look down his form, you'll see some good races against tougher on a racetrack with moisture in it. And that's very what we get here this afternoon against starter 25 races. So there's certainly enough we can hang our hat on here this afternoon. A couple of those works are pretty lights out works, including that sharp half on July 26, 47 and 3 up there at Pimlico. We both have some interest in the 5 Mr. Chesapeake City, who we both have on our ticket for Sergio Penderas. Victor Rosales gets the call, 3rd off the layoff this afternoon.
Consistency again. This horse is consistent, and that's a big defining factor for me when I'm choosing horses, because if they know how to perform, they're going to keep performing. A great run last time in Delaware, and I think I think they're always set up to improve off of Delaware, and I think this will definitely be the case today, especially with Victor on.
3 races ago, before the break, a big race at this level, 3 lifetime for 10,000, only got beat a neck while running second. Then first off to the break, a 3rd place finish, but well beaten, but probably 3rd off the layoff certainly could move this one forward for Victor Rosales here this afternoon. You have some interest in the 6, Casper Slew. This is a horse I did not get to. Michael Trombetta trains. Charlie Marquez rides, coming off a bit of a layoff from last March. Hasn't run since the 4th of March at Penn, where he got the job done in a 2 lifetime 16. Now drops to the 3 for 10.
And he's put in he's put in some steady works, which shows us that it gives me a little bit of confidence in the horse. And I think, he brings the horse from Penn, takes the weight off, that kind of transfers into itself. And then he's 19% off of winning a last race. And I think that sets up well for this horse to get a chunk of it. Doing a little bit of not so much of a drop down coming from Penn, but I think if the horse knows how to win and knows how to perform, he's going to do the same thing again. Yeah,
I think that's a good point. It's probably more of a lateral move, that 3 for 16. It's not like the Cook brothers who won the 2 for 16 here at Laurel Park. The 2 for 16 at Penn National is probably going to be a little bit softer. Not always, but generally that is the case. A big race on an off racetrack last June right here at Laurel Park. In fact, his lifetime best number that day while running second behind Noble Way. running his lifetime best 70 Beyer speed figure. So there's certainly things you can point your arrow in on Casper Slew. Couple works, bunch of work since that last race, including a couple good halves. The 2 Victory Given, probably going to take a lot of attention at the window, even though he's 5-1 on the morning line. Ty Liapustina gets a back aboard here this afternoon for Jose Corrales, looking for 3 in a row. Last 2 races have been big, but stepping up to 3 lifetime 10,000 this afternoon.
That's the only thing that kind of irked me about this horse, is that the step up, and then when he won last time, his first one was by 6 lengths, and then this time it was by a neck, wondering if the horse might be ready for a bit of a bounce on top of that, stepping the horse up. But hey, Jose's got a pretty good clip at 10% of winning after they won its last race, 3 out of 31, and I think that's something to look at. The horse will certainly take some money at the window, but we'll see what happens when the gates open.
Absolutely, and Jose Corrales is having himself a very, very nice summer meet here, winning 21% of the time, 9 for 43, and some of the best stats I've seen and win percentage I've seen from Jose Corrales at Laurel Park. 8-1-5-6 for Callie, 1-8-5-2 for myself. We'll move on to race 5. This is a nice 2 other than optional $35,000 claiming event, going 1 mile on the grass course for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. This is a very, very nice race. You're on the 3. You like this for Kelly Rubley and Julian Pimentel, and they've been lighting it up here all year, taking on 2 other than horses for the first time.
And I think they'll continue to do that. I think this horse the horse has been on an upward trajectory since its win in May at Laurel, and I really don't have any other questions about this horse. Again, Kelly's statistics, 7 for 24 after a horse winning its last race, 3rd after the layoff, hitting the board at a cool 20%. I think this horse has got a taste of how to win, and I think the horse is going to continue that. The
horse is certainly in very, very good form, as you mentioned, since coming off the layoff this year. Has gotten better with every start. Now, he takes a step up from the A other than to the 2 other than, and we know that in horse racing, that can be the toughest step. There's horses who simply never win their 2 other than after winning their A other than.
Boys to men.
Boys to men.
Yes.
Well put. Boys to men. But this horse, I think, has a shot of doing that here this afternoon. I agree with you. In my exact, a big number in that last race, a work since that last race, 2 works since that last race for Kelly Rubley, and she'll get her horses to win 2 in a row, 31% of the time. I go to the outside here in race 5. My top pick is the 9 Dark Artist coming in for Jane Sibilia. I hear that sigh, and you're thinking, I might have missed this one, but it's okay. It happens. Johan Rosado gets a call, 5-1 on the morning line. This one's been keeping some tough company, Callie.
He's been keeping some tough company. On top of that, it was back in June of last year, but this horse does like Laurel.
Certainly does.
Certainly does. So I think that has one thing going for him, and I think the drop down in class will certainly help out the horse. But it wasn't quite enough to tempt me. He was very close. Dark Artist was very close to tempting me to kind of take that pick on him, but I had some other ones that I kind of had a little bit more faith in.
Yeah, he tempted me here today, second off the break. I thought that was a pretty decent return at Belmont Park, where he just simply got a little late while laying close to the pace, getting beat 6 lengths, and you're absolutely right. His lifetime best came right here at Laurel Park last summer in the Big Dreyfus, where he fired an 87 Beyer speed figure that day, while running 3rd in the Big Dreyfus, $100,000 stake. Came back in 3 consecutive stake races where he ran quite credibly. They didn't hit the board, but he only got beat 6 lengths and 3 lengths in a couple of those races, and he fired good numbers. I think he gets class relief here this afternoon.
Yes.
Whether it's going to be enough, I'm not sure. We'll find out here a little bit later this afternoon. Jane Sibilia about 24%, second off this type of layoff. You like the 5 a little bit. Kaylee for Timothy Keefe, an Irish bred mare, 6-year-old mare. Kevin Gomez gets the call. Good race at Delaware Park in her last, no doubt about it.
It's going to be a step up, but I was highly impressed with how this horse ran at Delaware last time. I think we're going to see it again. Kevin, I don't believe Kevin rides a lot for Tim, and with this situation, I think it's a first impression. I think Kevin is also going to give his all a little bit, which will help a bit. And if we do, interesting fact, if we do find ourselves getting off of the turf last minute, this horse from England, he's 100% wet on the dirt. So I think it's, and we do have a little bit of rain coming up. I definitely think this is going to play into a factor. I think this horse is going to love this track today.
And if we get a yielding course, he shows a good race on a yielding course. Kevin Gomez for Timothy Keefe. We've got a few riders that are hurt. You're going to see a lot of different combinations now. We've got a few riders that are hurt. We've got a few riders who have chose to ride at other racetracks that can't ride here. So we're going to see different combinations. 2 starts ago, this horse ran a nice race right here at Laurel Park at this 2 other than level, running third behind No Mo Lady and Tass, and firing a good number. Looks like going in the right direction off the layoff. I overlooked this one. I may be sorry about that. The 8. Have we talked about the 8? No, we have not talked about the 8. Habuta Kaba.
Let's have a conversation.
Let's have a conversation about Habuta Kaba. Comes in for Javion Toledo rides. Phil Schoenthal, the trainer. I trained the dam, the gal that was a boy. This is a very good offspring of hers. Second off the layoff this afternoon, and I didn't think her return was that bad.
Wow, well done with her. Damn, she was 24%. Yeah, well done with it. Well done with her.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a knack at one point.
So what I did watch this horse's last race, and Toledo knows how to win on her, and I hope he'll repeat it again. What I did see is that she kind of went to the lead and kind of took it for granted a little bit. There was a bit of a loop in the reins. It was a bit too relaxed, and then once the horses got to her, just kind of said, oh, hey, everybody's here, but I did my part. Hopefully I don't see that happening. I don't see that mistake happening again today, which is why I do have some faith in this horse going today.
Yeah, she just simply got a little late in her last start. It was the first time she'd run since November 11th of last year. When you look at her races from last year, especially her last 3 races, they were strong races. Won the 8 than here at Laurel Park, was second in a stake at Parks, and then followed that up with a win in an open $40,000 straight 3-year-old 3-and-up event at Aqueduct. So I finished the year off right. 3 works since that last race may be enough for Habuta Kaba here this afternoon. You've got the 3-6 on top. I have the 9-3 in race 5. That's going to do it for us. I'm Tim Tulloch, Callie Francois. Good luck today at the races. Okay.
Okay.